Welcome into the Newman Gymnasium for the first time this year for some Husson University volleyball action. I'm Jake Willett. I'm joined alongside Nolan Humphreys. We are high above the court today. A little change of pace from the soccer field, but two teams here trying to get a kickstart onto their season. St. Joseph's College of Maine, the Monks, they're in town this evening here on a pretty brisk Wednesday night. I don't know my days. Wednesday night, St. Joe's comes into this one 3-7 on the year with 1-0 in their conference play so far. The Eagles coming in a little bit on the struggle bus, trying to find a way to get this one done today. They come into this one 1-10. Again, Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys here with you on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. And we are about 3.5 minutes until we start here. So, Nolan, what are you looking forward to in this matchup between these two teams?
Yeah, I think if you're Husson, you got to come out strong. And, this game would be some good momentum to be able to go and lead into the NAC. They haven't played a NAC game. They've gone 11 games so far and haven't played a NAC game. But your next couple of games against Leslie, Saturday, against Umpy, October 3rd, those games are going to be in conference. So those games are going to matter heavily. So if you're Husson, you want to come and try to get a win, play really good sets, and see if you can build some momentum so when you have to go play into the NAC conference.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to this one. Interim head coach Carl Lesbach, he's in his first season at the helm of the team. He was an assistant coach for the last few years. He's got two very good former players on this team with Beatrice Tersey and Olivia McIntyre, two well-respected players from the program. They are here, student assistant coaches this year, trying to get a win on home court. The Eagles are going to line up in their home whites with the green trim around the letters. Letters are in gold. St. Joe's walks in with the black. Their black alternate jerseys with the gray letters, blue sleeves. So a good look for them. Two good uniform combos coming into this one. We will step aside here and we will get starting lineups. We'll get national anthem, and then we'll get some volleyball action here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. junior libero, number 7, Jessica Christman. A junior middle blocker, number 9, Larissa Kamoli. A junior outside hitter, number 11, Greta McIntosh. A freshman setter, number 12, Maddie Garrett. A freshman middle blocker, number 14, Emily Mendelson. A junior libero, number 16, Sabrina Arcilla. A freshman outside, number 18, Addison Thomas. And a junior right side, number 24, Kylie Diakunis. St. Joe's is coached by John Roberts. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Husson University Eagles. A junior from Wallingford, Connecticut, number 4, Alana Perudi. A freshman from Bar Harbor, Maine, number 10, Daily Foss. A freshman from Blacksburg, New York, number 11, Peyton Hooker. A junior from Centennial, Colorado, number 12, Jana Prescott. A freshman from Tallis, Maine, number 13, Kate McPhee. A graduate student from Alton, New Hampshire, number 16, Julia Levitt. A sophomore from Owens Mills, Maryland, number 18, Amanda May Moore. And a senior from Summersworth, New Hampshire, number 23, Leah Pelican. The Eagles are coached by Carl Lemsack and he's assisted by Beatrice Kersey and Olivia McIntyre. And we are ready to go here at the Newman Gymnasium. Both teams saying good luck pregame, shaking hands down the line. Underneath the net, Eagles circling up to your right, the Monks on your left. So you guys saw the starting lineups, but we'll read them off again. Alana Perudi, Daly Foss, Peyton Hooker, Jana Prescorn, Kate McPhee, Julia Levitt are the 6 out there for the Eagles to start with Leah Peliquin and Amanda May Morris as the liberos for Coach Carl Lebsack and the Eagles. And for Coach John Roberts in his 8th season at the helm of the Monks, he will have Larissa Kamali, Greta McIntosh, Maddie Garrett, Emma Mendelson, Addison Thomas, and Kylie Giacumis, with Jessica Chrisman and Sabrina Arcilla at libero. Again, Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys here on the call. Starting libero for the Eagles will be Leah Peliquin as she takes out Daly Foss. And we are about ready to go. Again, Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys here high above the court on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. And it looks like the Eagles will have first serve here in the contest. As it looks to be Peyton Hooker. Peyton Hooker has the initial serve. 19 service aces on the year, freshman out of Plattsburgh, New York. Her first serve is worked around by the Monks and worked over, and the Eagles open up the scoring with the first point. Peyton Hooker back. She has her serve, and the Monks will tie it up.
Just a little bit too much there on that serve.
First serve of the day goes to Livy McDonough for the Monks, the freshman from West Friendship, Maryland. Prescorn, Hooker, and across the Eagles get the first volley going. Big save there by Peliquin, and the Monks have another shot at it. Back over the top, and out of bounds. The Eagles will take the set. Will go up 2-1.
They had to work for that one there. Great job by Leah Peliquin.
2-0 score for the Eagles. Prescorn's first serve is knocked down. And over across, Hooker. And Levitt couldn't get a hold of that one. A graduate student from Alton, New Hampshire. 2-2 is the score here. Jessica Chrisman will work the serve for the Monks. Peliquin and Peyton Hooker tried to get a hold of that one. Couldn't get it over the top of the net. And the Monks take their first advantage of the day.
St. Joe's kind of running away with that momentum right now.
Chrisman serve, a high arcing serve, and it hits the net. So it'll go back to the Eagles. Daly Foss checking back in for Leah Peliquin. And she's the libero, so she will not be able to play the front line. Alana Peruti has the serve for the Eagles. The Monks working it around. Peruti saves that one. Hooker over across to McPhee. And McPhee couldn't get that one in. A couple substitutions coming in for St. Joe's. Tamaya Johnson and Nadia Sixto. Johnson will have the serve, the junior from Boston, Massachusetts. Standing in the paint on the basketball court. Hooker sets it up. And St. Joe's will have the point there, as McPhee couldn't get that one over in play. So Tamaya Johnson's second serve will hit the top of the net. Levitt to Hooker, back to Levitt, and it'll go off of a couple hands of the Monks, and the Eagles will take the point. Jonah Travis checking in, sophomore from Calais, Maine. There's 8 service aces on the season. So a big stretch for her so far in the young season. Monks working it around. Peliquin back in the game. She saves that one to Hooker. Levitt's got to get it across, and she will. Monks Johnson. And a big finish there. And a good save by Prescorn. And a ball over the top and out of bounds. Peyton Hooker almost got that one in.
Was that Peyton Hooker with the dive and save there?
It was Jana Prescorn.
Oh, man.
Junior from Centennial, Colorado, making a big stop there. Greta McIntosh to serve. Foss. Hooker with the quick play over the top. Sixto gets it over. Peliquin with a nice save. Levitt. Johnson and Sixto. That's going to go off the arm of Jana Prescorn off the ceiling and hit out of bounds. So the Monks will continue their stretch. McIntosh, a junior outside hitter from Plymouth, Massachusetts. She was a part of the Great Northeast Athletic Conference All-Tournament team last season. Her serve. Foss. Hooker and Levitt. And out of bounds into the St. Joe's bench. Another serve incoming here for Greta McIntosh. Monks doubling the Eagles score here, 8-4. Peliquin to Hooker to Prescorn. And over the top, McIntosh, Johnson, and Kamali. Two hits there from Daly Foss, and the Monks will increase their lead again.
Husson's had chances. They can't get a rally going. Peliquin's made some really good saves for that Husson team. As long, they can get going and try to get a rally, work as a team here, and grab some more points from St. Joe's, who looks to be running away with this.
St. Joe's working it across to the big just off the arm of Jana Prescorn.
Kind of fell in the way there of Peliquin. Peliquin wanted to go get that, but
Coach Lebsack calls a timeout. So the Monks have a 10-4 lead, and as Nolan was saying, all the momentum right now is with the Monks. Addison Thomas with the finish on that one. And our lovely Husson University pep band back in action for the season, the first time this season, as this is the home opener for the Husson University volleyball team after a long stretch on the road.
Yep, they're having another home game Saturday at 11 a.m. First conference matchup against Leslie. And then back on the road to take on University of Maine, Presque Isle, and another NAC matchup.
As we are about 20 seconds left in Coach Lebsack's timeout, as McIntosh will continue to serve.
Yeah, why not? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
10-4 here in set number 1. Reminder for the folks at home, best of 5. So first team to win 3 sets wins. First 4 sets go to 25 points. Greta McIntosh will serve after the timeout. Peliquin. Peyton Hooker keeps it in, and it goes out of bounds. So another point for the Monks. Serve from McIntosh. Couple good efforts there from the Eagles by Prescorn and Hooker. And Thomas tried to get that one over the top nice and gently, couldn't get it over the top. So the Eagles will get their first point.
Yeah, good job there by Peyton Hooker, kind of blocking that one from going over the net. Getting Husson's their first point in what feels like a little bit.
Kimberly Daniels, the sophomore from Lake City, Florida, will take her first serve of the evening. Knocked down Johnson. A big spike there. A big kill attempt from Larissa Kamali. And it goes the way of the Monks. So Kamali will have her first serve. Serve from Kamali hits the net. And it'll go right back to the Eagles. 12-6 the Monks have the early advantage here in set 1.
As Peliquin comes up to serve this, you want to see if get a couple points here for Husson without giving the ball right back to St. Joe's.
Pelican's first serve will go out of bounds. So a little teeter-totter here in this middle stretch of set number 1 between the Monks and the Eagles. Look to see one of these two teams try and lock one down, get a little bit of momentum going like you said there.
Yeah, both teams, I think, just need to settle in. You settle in, you see if you can lock one game down and, play the rest with a little bit more confidence.
Purdy gets that one back over the top. And a pancake attempt there from Leah Peliquin. Just couldn't get, just right off the top of the fingertips. Couldn't get anything working there. Maddie Garrett, the freshman from Yule's, Texas. Hooker Peruti. Back over the top. The Monks working it around. Peliquin, Peruti. Prescorn. And a quick, good idea there from Maddie Garrett just to initially take it right back over the top and not try and work a set, work a rally going.
Yep.
Garrett will serve again. Hooker, Prescorn. And it will go the way of the Monks as it hits the antenna. Maddie Garrett serve. Hooker, Prescorn. Jana Prescorn getting on the score sheet for the Eagles.
They tried that same exact play last time, and it hit the antenna going St. Joe's way. You try it again, and Prescorn able to put that in.
McPhee checking in for Travis, as Peyton Hooker will have a serve. A little back and forth there around the net. Hooker, Prescorn, nice and soft over the top. Arcilla, back over the top. Hooker, St. Joe's working it around off the body. It's got to get over from Peliquin, and it will. Giacumis. Peliquin to Hooker to Prescorn, and that's blocked up top. Peliquin, Hooker over the top. A good volley here between these two teams. And a good save there from Hooker. But Emma Mendelson will finish it off. And the Monks lead 17-7.
Yeah, the best rally of the match so far.
Livy McDonough will have her second string of serves for St. Joe's. Her serve, Prescorn, Hooker, and back to Prescorn. And it's out of bounds. So the Monks now lead 18-7. Pretty convincing stretch here from the Monks on the scoreboard. Serve Peliquin to Hooker. And back over the top for McPhee. Giacumis. That's blocked up top by Peruti. Peruti went to go get another one. Prescorn off the net. And the Monks will have another point as the Eagles touch the ball 4 times on that stretch.
I feel like Husson's doing the right things. I just think they're almost there to getting their game to play the way that they want to. They haven't missed it by too much here.
McDonough, serve, Hooker. McPhee grazed the top of the ceiling. Giacumis knocked down by Peliquin. Peyton Hooker gets it over the top. Garrett setting up her teammate there. Prescorn nice and soft over the top. Arcia to Giacumis, the nice soft touch. Good save by Peliquin. Prescorn looked to finish it off, but just a little too strong and out of bounds.
Peliquin there doing everything she can to keep it going Husson's way. And Prescorn with just a little bit too much on the spike there.
McDonough starts it out. Prescorn nice and soft over the top. Giacumis with the sliding save. Peliquin a little too strong and into the Eagles bench. 21-7 now. Monks starting to run away with this one here in set number 1. Another timeout called by Coach Lebsack. But the Monks have tripled the Eagles score here late in set number 1. And like we've mentioned, like Nolan's mentioned, the Eagles, it feels like the Eagles are they're right there. They're fingertips away. One little stretch, getting a little momentum going here for the Eagles is going to be good heading into sets 2 and 3. Even though they may not come out with set 1, having the momentum into set 2, into set 3, having the confidence into set 2 and set 3 will make it easier on the minds of the Eagles and kind of relax them a little bit.
Yeah, I think the longer this game goes, I think it's only going to be better for Husson. I think right now they're building off of this. You know, you have to shake some of that rust off. You want to get into the flow of the game. And as the time goes on, they're only going to get more and more and more into the flow of the game. And I think Coach Lebsack's doing a really good job talking to his team. You know, maybe fix this, maybe fix that, but they're right there. You know, they've made some mental mistakes, I think. I don't think they're too far from, you know, catching St. Joe's here in match 2. You know, maybe being able to run away there.
After the timeout, Livy McDonough with just 4 points to go for the Monks right off the chest of Julia Levitt.
And I kind of talked about mental mistakes. You know, that's kind of a play right there that you're going to want back, is Julia Levitt.
McDonough, 22-7 Monks. Nice high arcing serve. Peruti to Hooker. Over to McPhee. And the Monks working it back. And a good kill there by Emma Mendelson.
2 points away is St. Joe's here from taking the first set.
McDonough's serve goes over. Levitt, Hooker, quick on her feet. And Peruti trying to finish that one off. Peliquin gets over the top. Giacomis back over top. Peruti and McPhee gets the point there for the Eagles. Off the fingertips of Greta McIntosh. And now Jana Prescorn's going to have the serve, trying to get the Eagles back into this one.
Yeah, great job there by Peyton Hooker. Thought you were going to go maybe for a setup there to get into the spike, but she goes for the fake, and that kind of starts that rally for Husson to get the point.
Giacomis over the top. Hooker to Peliquin to McPhee. Arcia, McIntosh, and blocked up top by McPhee and Peruti.
And now all this momentum going Husson's way. What are they going to do with it? Can they keep it going after getting 2 consecutive points?
Newman Gymnasium starting to fill up a little bit here in front of us. Prescorn serve, Arcia. Arcia back over the top. Peliquin to Hooker. Up top to Levitt. McDonough. McIntosh soft over the top. Peyton Hooker tried to save that one, and it will be set point coming up here for the Monks.
Just a tough handle there for Julia Levitt. Kind of went on her a little bit, and Peyton Hooker not able to put that where one of her teammates could get it.
Jessica Chrisman, a junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Last season, she was a big piece in the serve game. She led the team with 43 service aces. Looking for another one. Peliquin, saved by Levitt. Peyton Hooker over the top. McDonough. Finished off by Giacomis. And off the hands of Leah Peliquin. And the Monks take set number 1, 25-9. We will take a short break, and we will be back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network, Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys here on the call. We are working through. After set number 1, the Monks take the first set, 25-9. And here we are in set 2. I believe the Monks will have serve.
Would like to see Husson get into more of a steady flow this set. First one didn't go the way you wanted it to, but I think it could have been flipped upside down with just a couple of mistakes. If they can fix those, if Coach Lebsack talked to him, made the right adjustments, I think this set is going to be a lot more tighter than the last one was.
Absolutely. It felt like there in that first set that the Eagles would get a point and then they would immediately go back to St. Joe's.
Yeah, it felt like maybe 3 points to St. Joe's, 1 point to Husson. And then there was, a little bit of times where Husson got 2 points in a row, and you can really feel the momentum. People were really expecting them to keep going, and then just mental mistakes. So look for them to capitalize on situations that St. Joe's sets them up for here.
As it will be Maddie Garrett to have the opening serve. Eagles working it around up top. Arcia back over top. There's Michaela Gray checking in for the first time. Along with Mia Gorman on the other side. And just out of the reach of Amanda Mae Morse. So St. Joe's opens up set number 2 with a point.
Yeah, and St. Joe's did a really good job at capitalizing on every opportunity that Husson left wide open for him.
Morse makes the save on Garrett's serve. Over the top, Arcia. Garrett up top, and a good, nice light touch there from Emma Mendelson, and the Monks take point number 2.
Yeah, when you're going up to block something like that, you're not expecting, maybe a slow roller. And just right there, it's able to beat 2 Husson defenders, as maybe you're expecting more of a spike.
Garrett's third serve of the set. Morse to Hooker, over to Gray, and it's knocked down up top there by Giacomis and Mendelson.
I think if St. Joe's grabs the next 2 points here, I think if you're Coach Lebsack, you have to call a quick timeout. You don't want St. Joe's running away with it like they did in the first set.
Serve up top from Garrett. Hooker, Peruti trying to get the point, and Mendelson got up there for a block, but it will go to the Eagles.
Yeah, at first it didn't look like it was going to go to the Eagles there.
Peyton Hooker will have the opening serve of set number 2 for the Eagles, as Kate McPhee checking back in for Autumn Bryant. Mendelson tried to softly put it over. Gorham. Hooker. Ball up in the air. Gray over top. Gorham back. Good rally here from these two teams. Up top, and McPhee will get another point for the Eagles. 3-2 now the Monks lead.
Yeah, now you don't have to call that timeout, does Coach Lebsack. Now Husson picking up the momentum here, seeing if they can knock off St. Joe's off their feet a little bit.
Arcia, Garrett, and Giacomis fired one home. Knocked away. Hooker, Arcia, Garrett, and Gorham off a couple of Eagles and out of bounds. Good stretch there from Mia Gorham as she checks out. Gorham, a sophomore from North Andover, Massachusetts. Livy McDonough back to serve. She ended the set in the serving position. Hooker, nice light tap over the top. But it was knocked down by McIntosh, and the Monks will have another serve.
Yeah, tough play there from Michaela Gray.
McDonough's serve. Morse, Hooker, And McPhee fires one home.
I think that might have been the best spike we've seen all day from this Husson team.
Absolutely a great kill there from Kate McPhee. And Michaela Gray will serve for the first time. Back and forth. Monk settling it down. And off the net. McIntosh tried to get one over the top, hit the net. And now it's 5-4.
And if you're Husson, you're 2 points away from taking your first lead.
Since the opening point.
Yeah. Yep. Since the opening point. So
Garrett quick on her feet and plays it right over top. Caught the Eagles off guard. And the Monks will regain the serve. With Emma Mendelson. Stands on the bottom left corner. Straight stand. Right on her feet, no jump, and it's a service ace for Mendelson.
Yeah, it looked like Michaela Gray thought that one was going to be out.
So we have an error in volleyball making its way onto the court. Mendelson back into her routine now after the little hiccup. Over the top, Morse. And Hooker tried to keep that one alive, but couldn't. And Mendelson will get another one here in this string.
Yeah, Morris not able to get all of that one as it kind of came up on her. St. Joe's with all that momentum. Husson needs to stop that.
Standing serve from Mendelson. Hooker. Presscorn. And that was blocked up top. Blocked up there by Kamali and Giacomis for the Monks. 9-4 now.
It's clear what Husson's going to try to do. They're trying to go to press corn there for those kills on that left side.
Morse, Hooker, up top for McPhee, and she gets a point for the Eagles. Off the hands of Greta McIntosh. And Alana Peruti will have the first serve. Ball over the top. McIntosh, a little miscommunication, but the Monks retain. Peruti, Hooker, Presscorn. Peruti saves it. Over the top is Daly Foss. Caught the Monks off guard this time. 9-6. Peruti with the serve. Peruti. McDonough. Giacomis tried to fire one home, but couldn't get it in.
And it seems like when St. Joe's gets a point, Husson gets a point. So if you're Husson, you need to try to stop the momentum from St. Joe's and really try to keep it on your side here. See if they can catch up to St. Joe's before they get too far ahead, and it's too late in this set.
10-6. Riley Greenlee, sophomore from Newark, Delaware, making her first appearance of the evening for the Monks. Sophomore goes up for the serve. Morse, Presscorn. To McPhee and over. Nice tip there from Sydney Swanson. And the Monks get another point. Eleven to 6 now. Greenlee over top. Hooker, Foss, and off the net. Now 6-12. Eagles at the disadvantage. Greenlee serve. Morse. Peyton Hooker bumps that one over the top. Off the ceiling and back down quickly, and the Eagles couldn't capitalize. Couldn't react in time.
And if I'm Coach Lebsack here in the next couple of points, you got to think a timeout, and there one goes right there.
He read your mind.
Yeah, you needed that timeout. St. Joe's was running away from it. 4 consecutive points. St. Joe's kind of in the first set, they ran off with the lead and they never looked back. So if you're Husson right here during this timeout, you want to find a way to say, okay, we're down 7 here, but let's not get all 7 back, consecutively. We can go get 5, then go get 2, and we can play it kind of in quarters here. So Husson need to make some small adjustments here, or else they're in real danger to lose this second set.
About 30 seconds away from the first timeout. We are set 2 on the day. Riley Greenlee will continue her string. So the Monks have a 13-6 lead over the Eagles here at Newman Gymnasium. Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys here on the call on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Greenlee's serve is knocked down by Gray to Hooker over to Foss and over top. Greenlee, Chrisman, and back over top. Michaela Gray through the ceiling. And McPhee gets it over top. Greenlee sets the kill. Hooker again off the ceiling. The ceiling right now is the number 1 enemy of the Eagles right now.
Yeah, it's they're putting them up there. But fresh out of the timeout, it just looks like a communication mistake down below between maybe Katie McPhee and Morris there.
Gray to Hooker. Presscorn. Knocked down by McIntosh. Swanson over top. Presscorn. Hooker. Over to McPhee. Swanson with the save. Chrisman. McIntosh up top. Foss with the left hand gets it in.
Double effort there from Daly Foss to get Husson's first point and quite a bit. Much needed point.
14-7. As Autumn Bryant, the freshman from East Machias, Maine, checking in. 6 service aces on the season. She goes up top. McIntosh, Greenlee. Back to McIntosh and over top. Bryant. Hooker, Presscorn. Chrisman. A little too strong and out of bounds. So back-to-back points for the Eagles.
Yeah, got that momentum now. See if they can get into the flow. Again, they don't have to get it all back right here. Just get some back. Make it a much easier hill to climb later in the set.
Bryant over top. And a big kill there from Larissa Kamali. As McDonough checking out for Gorham. And Greta McIntosh will have the serve for the Monks. She goes up and over. Bryant, Hooker, Foss. Save there. Greenlee, Gorham over top. Presscorn to Hooker. Back to Presscorn. And in for a point.
I thought
Put it right into the triangle of doom.
Yeah, and St. John's struggled in that area. They haven't been great with those soft balls kind of right down into the area. So if you're Husson, maybe that's something you want to try to attack.
Amanda Mae Morris with the serve. Swanson couldn't keep it in range. And it's 15-10 now, the Monks lead.
Good power for serve there. St. Joe's not able to grasp onto it, and Husson's got a second consecutive point.
So we have a little bit of little bit of difficulties over at the scorer's table, so we have a little bit of a reset.
Which maybe is not good because Husson right now kind of has that momentum. So if you're Husson, you just want to keep going, keep playing, and now you have this stop where St. Joe's is able to kind of regroup and, make adjustments.
Absolutely. 15-10. Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys. We're about halfway through set number 2. Again, sets 1 through 4 go to 25 points. Set 5, if we need it, we'll go to 15. Right now, St. Joe's took the first set 25-9. They dominated in that first set.
Yep.
This set has been a little more back and forth, which is something we always like to see.
Yeah, and if you think about it, St. Joe's had that stretch where Husson was at 6 for like 8 of St. Joe's points. So if Husson has kind of played the way that this whole set's been going, they would have been pretty far out. So as they changed the score here to 16-9 instead of 15-10.
Strategy being talked about here on the court for the Eagles. Coach McIntyre walking in.
Crucial game for Husson here as you kind of open up the next 2 games. Conference play, it's always nice to go into games with momentum and, not coming off. Look, they're 1-10 on the year. It's no secret that they need to turn things around sooner rather than later. Right now, tonight would be a great way to do it. The home opener. Why not do it now?
Absolutely. Sabrina Arcia checking up to serve. The junior from Riverdale, New Jersey. Arcia serve. Bryant to Hooker to Presscorn and over top. Arcia back over top. Swanson. Gray back. Greenlee. Swanson. And down right in front of Autumn Bryant. And the Monks will take another point, 17-9. The serve from Arcia. Little communication and a double hit there from Peyton Hooker. Kind of got trapped there right up against the net.
Yeah, a couple people in one area, one small area. That net right there, always going to be an extra kind of defender, if you will. And double hit right into it.
Arcia serve goes up and over. Presscorn, Hooker, and Morris back over top. Greenlee. Big kill there from Emma Mendelson.
St. Joe is reading the defense of Husson and kind of just putting the ball right where nobody's at or nobody can reach. And it's going to go for another point for St. Joe's as it now is 19-9 when it seemed like it was 15-10. And it seemed like Husson had an opportunity. St. Joe's now seen kind of running away with it, similar to what they did in the first set.
Sophia Denham checking in. First action of the night. Arcia, very strong serve off the arm of Amanda Mae Morris, off the ceiling and out of bounds. So 20-9, the Monks lead. Ball over top. And that's an ace. Yeah, for Sabrina Arcia. 21-9. And a timeout call by Coach Lebsack. And we will take a timeout right with them. We'll be back in a flash here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network, Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys, 20-9 here for the Monks here in set number 2 after taking set number 1, 25-9. Arcia right off an ace. And it goes out of bounds, and the Eagles will have a point.
Good point there coming out of that timeout. You didn't necessarily kind of earn it, if you will, but still something to be proud of.
Amanda Mae Morris with the serve. Denham Greenlee and Swanson tried for a kill, but hit off the net. And back-to-back points for the Eagles. Amanda Mae Morris goes up for the serve, and that one goes out of bounds. So the Monks will have a serve up 22-11.
Tough momentum killer there. You out of the timeout, you get 2 points, and a tough serve that just too much power on it from Amanda Mae Morris.
Maddie Garrett with the serve. Morris to Hooker, and back across was Michaela Gray. Giacomas back in action. Knocks it up. And Mendelson was met by Alana Peruti up top. And the Eagles will regain possession. 22-12. Peyton Hooker working across. Big kill attempt there. Alana Peruti back up top. Hooker, Peruti to Michaela Gray. And off the hands of Mia Gorham, and the Eagles get another point.
Talk about momentum. Now it seems Husson's gotten into the flow of the game. And it's going to force St. Joe's here to take a timeout.
Coach Roberts calling his first timeout of the night. Eagles getting a little bit of momentum here, 22-13 the score. Peyton Hooker has been on a little bit of a tear here on the serves. They will have possession when we get back from the timeout.
Like the way Husson's been playing since that timeout now. It seems almost a little bit, too little, too late, as St. Joe's just needs 3 points. But if Husson's able to bring it in, to where it's somewhat close, that would be great for the third set. Give you a lot of momentum. I just think, what's kind of hurt them in the first and second sets is they're not coming out as fast as I think they want to. You want to come out fast. You want to start with the momentum. You want to kind of get St. Joe's off of their rhythm, as it seems like it's been really difficult to do. So, not saying, this set's over, but if you're Husson, that's something you want to think about is that next set. How fast can you start?
Peyton Hooker to serve. And in there. So another point for the Eagles. (22-14). Hooker serve. Knocked down by Denham. Peruti tries to fire one home, and she does, but she hits the net. So the Monks will take the point.
Tough break there for Peruti, as she thought she had that one. Husson definitely needed that. Instead of it being 15-22, it's going to be 14-23 here. And St. Joe sees themselves 2 points away from taking set number 2.
McIntosh and McDonough checking in for the Monks. Livy McDonough will have the serve. Gray right in front of Presscorn. Right in front of McPhee.
And just not much communication there. You can see McPhee kind of hesitate on the ball. didn't 100% go for it, and it cost you. When you think kind of a couple seconds too late, it can cost you, and it sure did.
Set point serve here for McDonough. She goes over the top, and Morse tries to keep it alive, and the Monks will take set number 2 by a score of 25-14. And here after set 2, we will step aside and be right back for set 3 here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network, Jake Willett with Nolan Humphreys here high above the court for some out-of-conference in-state volleyball action between the St. Joseph's College of Maine Monks and the Husson University Eagles. Monks took the first 2 sets by scores of 25-9 and 25-14. We are here for set number 3 with a serve for the Eagles and Peyton Hooker.
Yeah, Peyton Hooker, last time she served, it did Husson well. Got a couple points. So, again, talked a little bit about it last time. Want to start fast for Husson.
First serve from Hooker hits the top of the net, and it'll go the way of the Monks. McDonough checking in. Serve from McDonough. Gray, Hooker, McPhee, and the Eagles get a point. So Michaela Gray will take the serve. Serve from Gray. Arcia. And the point goes to the Monks. As that was Livy McDonough with the kill. Jessica Chrisman enters into set number 3 for the first time. Her serve. Morse to Hooker to Peruti. And up top she's met by Kamali. And Peruti will, with the second ditch effort, get the point for the Eagles and knot it up at 2.
We're seeing much more of a back and forth kind of play here from the Eagles. Much needed if you want to come away with this win, is to get St. Joe's off rhythm. Don't let them get a couple in a row, or it's only going to be bad for you.
The serve from Amanda Mae Morse. Giacomis over top. Hooker. Morse over top. Kamali. And a big block up top by Daly Foss and Kate McPhee.
And Husson takes their first lead since the opening point here tonight.
Amanda Mae Morse. Serve. Off the net. And the Monks will regain possession. As Riley Greenlee checks in to serve along with Sydney Swanson. Serve from Greenlee. Gray, Hooker, Levitt over top. A tip up top. There by Greta McIntosh. And the Monks get a point. Greenlee will remain serving. Greenlee. And out. So the Eagles tie it back up at 4.
Both teams kind of struggling to get any type of momentum. As soon as Husson scores, St. Joe scores, and vice versa. So look for the first team here. I'm going to go out and say the first team to get a consecutive point is going to be the team to come out on top of this set.
We got a set 3 prediction from Nolan Humphreys. What a day. Jonah Travis' serve. Goes the other way. So it'll go back to St. Joe's. Greta McIntosh. Serve from McIntosh. Morse. Hooker. Foss. And blocked up top by Larissa Kamali. Greta McIntosh to serve with a 6-4 lead. And that one goes out of bounds, so back to the Eagles, 6-5 now. Kimberly Daniels checking in for Julia Levitt.
And Husson's staying in there with St. Joe's. I still don't think this has been the best set, or the start of the set that they've played yet.
Daniels' serve goes out of bounds, back to St. Joe's. Levitt checking back in for Daniels. Larissa Kamali will serve for the Monks. She starts at the low block on the basketball court. And that one goes off the net, back to the Eagles.
I feel like we're doing like a ping pong.
Yeah.
Ping pong match right here. Just back and forth, back and forth. as far as the points go.
The serve. Arcia. Off the top of the net was Gorham. And the Monks take an 8-6 lead. Tamaya Johnson, along with Kylie Giacomis, checking in for the Monks. Johnson's serve goes off of Jonah Travis, and the Monks take a 9-6 lead. Serve from Johnson. Travis. Hooker. Gray over top and gets a point.
Much needed point there for Husson as St. Jones was kind of running away with this momentum in this set.
9-7. Peyton Hooker to serve. Knuckle. Johnson, Gorham, Hooker, back over is McPhee. Johnson sets. A little miscommunication, but Giacomis gets it over. McIntosh, Johnson, Giacomis, down and in for a point.
Yeah, like you said, miscommunication there. That ball was kind of in the air for a St. Joe's while there so that they could be able to still figure that one out, come away with the point.
Mia Gorham to serve for the Monks. With a 10-7 lead, Morse to Hooker, over to Michaela Gray, and that's in! Pinpoint precision accuracy from Michaela Gray to give the Eagles their 8th point of the set. Gray serve. Arcia. Over top is McIntosh. Peruti tries to get a point. Johnson to McIntosh. And a little collision there between Morse and Gray, but it will be a point for the Monks.
I think this Husson team needs to do better at communication to prevent little things like that happening.
Ball served. Air from Chrisman. A little bit of a volley here, and a big kill attempt there from the Eagles, and it couldn't get that one across, so the Monks take another point.
Talk about that triangle of death, kind of that middle area for Husson there. That's where that ball goes.
Timeout.
Johnson.
Timeout for Coach Lebsack as the Monks lead 12-8. And we've seen a little bit more of a competitive set here in set number 3 after a couple sweats where the Monks kind of just ran with it.
Yeah.
Ran out of the water with it.
Yeah, Husson's doing a really good job. They started off where it was going back and forth, and that's what you want because the first 2 sets, St. Joe's, there was no back and forth, so St. Joe's was able to just run away with all of that momentum, and they were kind of playing in a flow state. Husson, now that it's going back and forth, Husson killed that flow state for St. Joe's, and right now we're seeing that flow state for St. Joe's. So if you're Husson, you want to just go back to killing it. Again, you don't want to look too far into the game and go, yeah, we need to come up with, all the points now. You get that in steps. Again, like I said earlier, make the hill easier to climb. If you come out here and you're able to stop St. Joe's, score a couple points, I think it's going to be much needed because right now you're fighting for your life as far as this game goes. And the third set, which, could be the final one if Husson doesn't kind of string together some points.
Jessica Chrisman will serve with a 4-point advantage. Gray, Hooker, Levitt. Knocked down up top by Kamali, and she lets him know. Chrisman back to serve in front of the iPad. The jumping serve right in front of Amanda Mae Morris. And the Monks take a 14-8 lead.
And it seemed as if that timeout, kind of went better into St. Joe's favor as they're running away with it. 2 consecutive points.
Serve from Chrisman. Autumn Bryant checking in as the libero for the first time. McIntosh puts one down as Michaela Gray slams that in frustration. Jana Presscorn will check in for Michaela Gray. Chrisman serve, high arcing serve. Over top, and it'll go out. So the Eagles will have the serve.
You need it right here if you're the Eagles. You need a couple points together right now. You know, this goes back to St. Joe's, and they string a couple of points together. You're going to be in trouble if you're Husson, so you need a couple of points right now.
Autumn Bryant in as the libero. She will serve. Over top. Johnson back to McIntosh. And the Monks get another point. Greenlee and Swanson checking back in. Greenlee will have the serve. Kind of feels like the life has been sucked out of the Eagles. You can look down on the sideline. The life's really been sucked out of them. A lot of negative body language, a lot of not so positive emotions over on the Eagles bench.
Yeah, some people sitting down just seem kind of checked out. You know, you go back 10 points in this game, and it's a whole different atmosphere, not even just on the Husson bench, but maybe in the stands as well, as everybody seemed as if there was life. And now, at this point, with Husson fighting for their life, they don't have what they need. They need that energy. And at this moment, you know, St. Joe's is just taking all of that away.
Greenlee serve. Knocked down by Presscorn. And into no man's land. And the Monks have doubled the lead. They now lead 18-9. Greenlee trying to wrap this one up for the Monks. Her serve. Levitt back over top. Kamali tried to finish that one off with a passion, but just out of bounds. And Leah Peliquin checking in a non-libero jersey for the first time this evening.
Yep. Was really good earlier, making a lot of really good saves for Husson.
Peliquin serve. Greenlee over top for McIntosh. Off the hands of Daly Foss. And the Monks immediately get the ball back.
You started the way you wanted to if you're Husson. You know, as far as all 3 sets have gone, you started the way that you really needed to. And, you know, it's a shame to see kind of as the set goes on, St. Joe's just with all the energy, all the momentum, everything kind of going their way. Husson has kind of just allowed it to happen. And, you know, that's why we see the score 19-10.
Sophia Pires checks in along with Mia Gorham. Pires, a freshman from Cumberland, Rhode Island, her 5th match of the season. Serve from Pires. Bryant, hooker to Levitt. Back across. Gorham tried to finish that one off. Bryant, Presscorn over top off the net, and it is 21-10. It's 20-10. I can't read. Serve from Pyrus is soft and in.
Now it's 21.
Now it's 21-10.
There you go.
It's still preseason. Still
That's right,
preseason
yeah.
for us up here. Pyrus with a 21-10 lead. Bryant, hooker Presscorn over top. Chrisman saved there off the ceiling and out of bounds. So the Eagles will have the point.
And I think the ceiling's undefeated tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think you can beat it.
It's a very good record the ceiling has.
Yeah, probably undefeated.
It has to be.
I think it has a banner somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know where it's going to go.
Yep. But the whole thing about the ceiling is that if it hits the ceiling, the ball's still live.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike in basketball.
Yeah.
If it hit the ceiling, it's out. Daniels to serve. Chrisman, Greenlee, over top for Swanson and out of bounds. So another point for the Eagles, 21-12.
However, that would be a pretty, great bank shot if you could go from the ceiling into the hoop.
Eagles trying to fight their way back into this one. Down 9. Daniels to serve. Pyrus, Greenlee, Kamali. And into the pep bands.
St. Joe's 3 points away from ending the night here in Husson's home opener.
Larissa Kamali trying to end it for the Monks. Just needs 3 points to come away with a clean sweep over the Eagles. Bryant, Presscorn, back into the field of play. Over top, Greenlee, Swanson, and in. But it's still alive. Greenlee over top, and that one is still alive. Presscorn. And the Monks get the point. That was a little chaotic.
That was, some of the craziest saves we've seen today.
Couple pancakes.
You need binoculars just to see.
Kamali, 23-12. Diving effort there. And the Eagles get a point after a Jana Presscorn kill. 23-13 now.
Those saves right there get you some momentum. The crowd's back into it. The bench is back into it. And then you get a kill.
Foss's serve. Trying to finish it off was Gorham. But we got a whistle, and the Eagles get a point. So 23-14.
That momentum.
Little bit of life.
A little bit. You need to keep it going here. You turn the ball over, you don't get a point. It's good. It could almost be over at that point with St. Joe's only needing 2.
Daly Foss. Pyrus. Greenlee. Over top. Saved there. Hooker. Presscorn. Off the hands of a Monk. And point for the Eagles. 23-15.
And you're almost asking yourself, where was this earlier? Right? Did you need to make, 3 pancake saves for your team to come out and play like this?
Foss's serve. Arcia. Pyrus. Gorham, and the Eagles get another point. 23-16.
Exactly what you need.
Daly Foss, her serve, goes out, and it's match point for the Monks.
And it was, one mistake away from maybe this game being over right there. And Foss with a little bit too much on the serve. It's in St. Joe's hands now.
It is up to Tamaya Johnson. The game is in her hands as she serves the match point. Hooker, Presscorn, blocked up top. Giacomis and Mendelson put the game away up top. And the Monks have a clean set sweep over the Eagles. Nolan, final thoughts, my friend.
Yeah, I think it's a tough loss for the Eagles. However, if I can take any positives out of the way that they played the last 5 minutes, I thought they played the best. Maybe they've played all season. So you want to come out here, going into some conference play, some really big games coming up, like Leslie, which is going to be home Saturday at 11 a.m. at Umpy, October 3rd. So you got a couple of really important games coming up. You need to see if you can build from that 5 minutes right there, the confidence, the flow. See if you can build there and go into some conference games, getting a win. They're going to they're going to go to 1-11. However, 0-0 in conference. So as you know, their regular record stands not great, but they have a chance here in the next couple of games to make that conference record 2-0.
Monks moved to 4-7 on the season. They take on a neutral site tournament with New England College and Albertus Magnus on Saturday. Eagles, they fall to 1-11, but the season restarts as conference play starts in the North Atlantic Conference Saturday, right back here at Newman Gymnasium at 11 a.m. against the Leslie Lynx. And I will be on the call for that, so join me on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Jake Willett, Nolan Humphreys, here high above the Newman Gymnasium. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It may change their life. Goodbye!